Hello YouTube, I'm back. This is another talking style video, so if you don't like these types of videos, move on. But first, announcements. I did this at the end of the video last time, but I'll do it first for the people that care. First, I think I'm burp. Yep. Ugh. Anyway, today is September 18th. That date's gonna come back in handy later in this video. But September 18th, I plan to have IW Rage out this weekend because All Out comes out September 28th. I'm about to start filming the gauntlet match for that. Got some new figures in today, as you can see. CM Punk, I already torso swapped it. So, yeah. CM Punk, got the Royal Rumble John Cena, but that's not what this video is about. But yeah, I do have a lot of stuff coming. I got a tutorial guide coming soon. That more Fed stuff. Maybe another vlog. You guys want another vlog? Let me know. I like posting the vlogs. Leave it down in the comments. But anyway, I wanted to talk to you guys about my life. You know, if you're in my Discord, if you follow me on Instagram or any of that, you know, the past month and a half has been pretty hectic for me. Today was the nail in the coffin for my relationship. Whoa, scary. That's the first thing I start this video off with. I'm not gonna get into details, but I've been with this girl on and off for about 2 years. Well, not about, today is 2 years. Today, September 18th, 2023, I asked this girl, I'm trying to think what I can call her. Obviously my close friends know what her name is, but for the sake of privacy and for the sake of her, I'm not gonna say her name. What can I call her? I guess we'll go E. Easy enough. I asked her out 2 years ago to the day. And earlier this month, my aunt passed away. Rest in peace, I love you. But my aunt did pass away this month. And this month has been a whirlwind, not only for me, but for a lot of the world. With the amount of passings in culture and whatever, and then just political stuff and whatever. David, what are you doing with that car, bro? That too. There's a lot going on in the world right now. And truthfully, I didn't want more on me. You know, so my aunt passed away. So I went back to New York. Me and my whole family went to go for her funeral services, which were great. They were beautiful. Obviously my heart goes out to my cousins and everything. You know, it sucked seeing them like that. Especially knowing that at some point in my life, that will be me. Because as much as you want to dread it, run from it. Fantastic Four. Anyway, you can dread it, you can run from it, you can push it off. But death is a certainty in life. And you know, I try to think about it that it's not always meant to be a bad thing. You know, because God is there, God is here, God is present, God is alive, and God, as long as you follow Him and you follow His word, you are going to be okay. You know, we are citizens of heaven on a temporary plane on earth. But my aunt passed away, and I'm there, and I'm heading back to her wake. And I get a phone call from some random person never heard of on my Instagram. They sent me a DM. So they asked me if they can call, and I found out that my girlfriend at the time cheated on me. And I'm not saying this to bash her, because I have put my anger behind me. You know, but she did, and it really hurt. Because it's not the first time something like this has happened, but I like to see the good in people. I like to see what other people don't. And I'm not one to give up on people. I try not to. But it was deeper than just texting this time. It was physical, it was sexual, and it hurt me a lot because this is a girl I gave 2 years to. This is a girl that I wanted had to be my wife. A girl that I wanted to have my kids. A girl that I brought home to my family. That my little brother to this day still says, I miss. Ooh, I gotta bleep that name. I'm bleeping the name out. But I miss blank. She still says her name to this day. And as some people will be upset about that, being that like, why are you saying her name? But he's a baby. You know, he's 9 years old. He doesn't know better. And it makes me feel better, honestly, that she was able to make such an impact on my family and my life that she's cared for by my siblings. You know, I'm not mad at this girl. My initial anger came that day when I found out. But I'm not one to hold grudges. I'm not one to hold on to things or try not to. You know, I still hold on to things from my childhood that I'm working every day to put past me. But I'm here to talk because I'm not afraid of being vulnerable anymore. And I want to be comfortable. Something I was talking to my mom about today. I want to be comfortable. And I feel like talking about these issues that go on and letting people know that have happened, that have had this happen or think it's going to happen or any of this, that they know they're not alone in this world. They know that they're not the only person that have gone through this. But this happened a few weeks ago, and I've still been texting her back and forth since because every part of me saying, why do this? She cheated on you. But also every part of me is like, I don't want to be another person to give up on her. I don't want to be another person to throw her to the side. And today, after 2 years, she decided that she wanted to be friends. And I can't do that because I can't look at a person that I wanted to build a life with and look at them as my friend. It's just something I can't do. So if I said okay, I would have been lying to her and I would have been lying to myself. And I didn't want to do that. You know, I'm not a perfect person at all. And everybody makes mistakes, and what she did was a big mistake. But we're human. And we sin, and we make our mistakes, but I'm not always going to be forgiving. And you don't have to be, especially in situations like this. You don't have to feel any certain way. You're allowed to feel, and you're allowed to process, and you're allowed to heal in however you feel fit, you know? So today, we cut contact for good. You know, I've really tried to make it work for as long as I can, and I don't know what God has in store for my life. But I'm making this video for the people out there that were like I am. You know, you feel senseless, directionless. Because I've always been one that I need to feel needed. I need to be a provider. I'm like my father, honestly, a lot. As much as me and him butt heads, I'm a lot like my dad. And I look up to my dad a lot. As much as I think he can be a jerk sometimes, I look up to my dad. Because my dad's a great provider. Everything around me, you know, these figures, that my entire business, everything that I have is because my dad put me onto it. My dad was the one that showed me everything. So I sat there and I thought to myself that I know I am not a person that's really equipped to be alone. So this decision of splitting is really hard. Because to me, in my life, I want to be a wrestler. I want to learn how to run a business successfully. I want to be successful. But I feel like the biggest success I could have in my life is just being a father, being a husband, being a partner. Because I feel like that's the biggest calling that I could have, is to be somebody else's rock, somebody else's shoulder, to show them that they're loved. And that's a big message that I like to share on here as well. You're loved. You are. Even in the moments that you don't feel it. Even in the moments that you don't feel enough, you feel that the things that you give aren't enough for another person. You are loved and you are enough. When that happened with my girlfriend, I blamed myself. Because I thought, well, what if I didn't do something that day? What if I had spent more time with her? What if I had done this? What if I had done that? And truthfully, without being cocky, I gave that girl every single thing that I could. The last dollar in my pocket to the last minute of my day. And I'm not saying that to make her feel bad, and I'm not saying that to toot my own horn. I'm saying that because I know with a closed heart and with a happy heart that I did my best. And I don't regret anything that I did. And I don't regret anything that happened. But I'm not the type of person to be alone. I like to be needed. I like to be able to help. I like to be able to be someone's boyfriend. I want to be the person that you call at 3 o'clock when you had a bad dream. I want to be the person you call when you got your nails done. I want to be that person, And I feel like part of me was also holding on because I didn't have anybody else for that. But also the majority of me wanted to see it through. I wanted it to make it work. Because every night I sat there and I prayed and I asked God, do your will. If this girl is meant to be in my life, then she is. If she's not, remove her. And for a long time she stayed. And then what happened. And God has a plan. And I really love this girl even still now. And I wish her nothing but the best. And I hope that everything she wants, everything she plans, everything that, I hope her life goes exactly the way it's meant to be, exactly how she wants it, and that she's happy. Because my final act of love is wishing that you're happy. So it's as simple as just knowing that no matter what, no matter the bad, no matter how far rock bottom you hit, there's always a light, because today I had one of the worst days of my life. I'll be honest, I did, because today was supposed to be a day where even though we're not together, even though we shouldn't be talking, I wanted to spend this special day with her. Because it's our day, September 18th. It's always been. And I wanted this day to be for me and her. And it was. Just in not the way I expected. So, all I have to say to her and to anybody that is going through anything like this is that it's going to be okay. Because when one door closes, another door opens. God has a plan. And if you're not religious, if you don't know what to believe, if you follow another religion, it's okay, But for those that do know God and want to know God, I stress to you that you find Him. Because as dark as today was for me, there was a light at the other end of this tunnel. Because I know he has a plan for me. I know he has whoever this girl is. If it's her, if it's a new person, they're coming. You know, God is a powerful thing. And I strongly encourage you to pray. You know, if you have second thoughts, if you're like, well, I want to believe in God, but I can't. I don't know why. I don't know. Do your research. Find out. Pray about it. God reveals himself through actions. I'm trying to think about everything else I wanted to talk about in this video. It was mainly that, you know. But, you know, I've had a crazy amount of things happen to me in my life. You know, I was bullied as a kid. I think I talked about it in the last video. I don't know. But man, as much bad that has happened to me, I always look forward to the good. Because with every bad action, there's always going to be a good that's 10 times better. And you know, you just got to be patient for when that comes. So, I just want you guys to know that no matter what hardship you are going through in your life, because I believe you see this video for a reason. Whatever hardship you're going through, whatever struggles, whatever you're feeling right now, know that you're loved. And know that you're not alone. I stressed this in the last video, I stress it now. Because you need to know that there's whatever you're going through, somebody else has too. Don't feel alone in this world because we are separated enough as is. You know, Republican, Democrat, right, left, blue, red, tomato, apple, I don't know. The devil and this dark energy and this dark, just everything around us is meant to separate us. And it's up to us to not be that way. It's up to us to come together, and it's up to us to support each other. You know, I have friends that are liberals, I have friends that are Republicans, I have friends that are gay, that are straight. You know, I don't talk about my political beliefs, and I'm not going to, because I'm not trying to push away anybody. Everybody is welcome here. Everybody is welcome in my space. Everybody is welcome to be themselves and to feel appreciated and to feel loved. And everybody is allowed to enjoy the content that I make. Whether or not you like wrestling, whether or not you like toys, whether or not you like vlogs, I make what I like. I make what I make. And it's your choice whether you want to watch it. But when I do make what I make sure that there's nobody being left out. There's nobody that I'm pushing away, because there's not enough in this world for everybody to be pushing everybody away. We need to feel together. We need to feel united. As a country, as a population, as anything. We are called by God to love thy neighbor. And I was talking in school, in class, about love. And you don't have to be in romantic love to love a person. You can love a stranger and not know them. You don't have to say, oh, well, they're kind of pretty. It's not that kind of love. It doesn't have to be the kind of love to your parents. It's a mutual respect. Because you're no better than me and I'm no better than you. So at the end of the day, throughout everything, you know, I just want you to know that you're loved and you're okay. Because no matter what, God's going to provide for you. Whether or not you believe in him, whether or not you believe in some Allah or Buddha or whoever, God provides because you were made in his image. God loves you, and he wants you to love him, and he wants you to love other people. That's all the message that I have to share. I believe that God gave me the platform that I have, not to make toy content, not to make wrestling content, but to let you know that you're not alone in this world. Because for years, I felt ashamed, I felt alone, I felt unconfident in myself, to where I let that show. And I let my anger, and I let my resentment, and I let my grudges. Ew, what's on my teeth? Pepperoni. I gotta brush my teeth. Anyway, I let these things overtake me, and I let it affect how I treat other people. So please be aware that you are not alone. You are not any of these bad thoughts that you think about yourself or others say to you. You're not these things. You have a purpose in life. You have a huge purpose that God has for you, whether or not you realize it or whether or not it's happened yet. There's a purpose. Don't take your purpose away. And don't flush it down the toilet either. Be awake. Notice things. One thing a day. Notice one thing to be grateful a day. I've been trying lately, every morning I wake up, to think of something I'm grateful for. You know, today was a really hard day for that, because I woke up knowing that the person I love and will always love, she'll always have a part of my heart. I don't know what's in store for me and her, so I can't say that I'll never love her fully again. But right now it's looking that we're done for good. So in the future, I'm always going to love her, but it doesn't mean I'm going to be in love with her. But I forgot what I was going with that. I don't know. But anyway, you can have love for people. I don't know. Let me go back and see what the hell I was saying. I remember now. I was talking about being grateful. But this morning I woke up and I knew that the person I love is not mine. Like, I have no connection with her right now. But I was grateful that God is putting me on the right path. No matter what that path may be. Maybe it's not something I like, but it's what I need. It's what my soul needs. It's what I need. It's what God has intended for me. I just bounce. Why did I bounce? I don't know. But I was grateful that God is putting me on the path that I'm meant to be on. And I'm also grateful that He's putting her on that path. I hope, I pray for her. I pray that the path that she was going on is not the path that she's still on. I pray for her every day that the person that I fell in love with is still there, that she realizes who she is, and that everything that's been going on with her, that like she's been doing and such, that again I won't talk about, that she gets off that path, because that's not a person I recognize. It's not the person that she is. But ladies and gentlemen, just know there is so much to be grateful for in life. I'm grateful that I wake up every morning. Tomorrow isn't promised. I'm incredibly grateful that God wakes me up in the morning and allows me to go to school, allows me to play soccer, allows me to come into this workshop of mine and hold these little plastic people. You know, let me put this down. I'm going to get distracted. But I'm grateful for all of it, because it's not guaranteed. It's not owed. It's given. And I'm grateful for what I've been given. So you don't have to listen to some teenager on the internet and say something you're grateful for every day. but it's something I recommend. But what you should listen to is that you're loved, you're appreciated, you're wanted. No matter how other people may make you feel or how you feel. It's true. And if you don't think there's anybody for you to make you feel like that, reach out to me. I leave all my messages open for business reasons and just people wanting to communicate with me. Like I said, I'm no better than you and you're no better than me. I'm not going to act like a celebrity and just ignore you. If you want to respond, if you want to reach out to me, you know, my Instagram, you have my email on thefigurecartel.com. And there's ways to reach out to me if you're ever feeling down, if you're ever feeling that you need someone to just let you know that you're cared for. I don't know anybody, most likely, that's watching this video. Probably a select few. But I just want all of you to know that God is in your life, whether you realize it or not. And He's watching over you and He's protecting you and He's giving you these opportunities at some point in your future. That you have a purpose and that you're loved by me, you're loved by Him, and you're loved by somebody in your life. And you should love yourself. No matter the hardship, no matter how you feel, no matter the situations you've been through in your life, know that you should love yourself. This video's got to be at least like 30 minutes long now. So I'm going to head out. I don't know how many more of these types of videos I'll make, maybe every once in a while. But again, I want to be open with you guys to let you know that these masquerades that people put on the internet, they live this perfect life with all these perfect things, isn't true. People go through shit, people go through problems every day. And why my voices get so deep? Ew. But people go through things every day, and they don't let it be seen because they want to be viewed as this perfect person, as this perfect life, when none of that's true. And I think it's important for me to come on here and show that it's okay to not feel okay. But it's also important to know that you will be okay. So that's all I got. Thank you for watching. Video is coming out this week. Gonna try and get the ultimate guide for customizing out. Room tour eventually. I might just save it for the end of the year. I said that at the end of last year, but I'll save it for the end of the year. Rage coming out Saturday, Sunday. Depends if I can film this match. I just took 30 minutes to film this, so who knows. But All Out, September 28th. I will see you there. CM Punk versus Shinsuke versus Adam Cole versus Malachi versus Kenny versus Finn. Number one contendership faces the OA or Seth Rollins, whoever wins at the Royal Rumble. I'm very excited. Royal Rumble is the second show next. So Rage coming, then Glory, then the Rumble. That Rumble is going to be out in friggin' March with my schedule. But I promise I will try to upload more and more different contents and stuff. I might dive a little bit more into the wrestling news and wrestling figure news rather than just figure content and just like hauls and customizing and stuff. I also keep meaning to do a making a figure from start to finish video, but I never finish those. My phone will die and I'll finish the rest off camera and I'll be like, oh well. But I will make one of those eventually. But that is it. Thank you for watching. Please leave a like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Peace out.